right, nephews, I want to ask you a question tonight. How much of your life is on hold, waiting for someone else to make a decision? Think about that for a second. Because some of you, right now, you're waiting on a text. Some of you are waiting for closure. Some of you are waiting for somebody to realize what they lost. Some of you are waiting for the perfect opportunity. And some of you are waiting for permission to become the man you already know you're capable of becoming. And here's the hard truth. Life doesn't stop because you're waiting. It just keeps moving without you. One of the biggest lies men believe is that their life will finally begin when somebody chooses them, right? When she finally commits, or when they finally get a promotion, when they finally lose some weight, when they finally feel confident. No, nephews, confidence doesn't come first. Action does. Purpose, it doesn't come after somebody chooses you. Purpose is what you build while nobody's watching. Because the strongest men I know, they didn't become strong because life picked them first. They became strong because they stopped waiting to be picked. And that's a completely different kind of mindset. So we spend way too much time asking questions that don't actually move our lives forward. Why didn't she text me? Why wasn't I enough? Why did they leave? Those are the wrong questions. Here's the question that's going to change everything for you. What am I going to build now? Because every minute you spend chasing an explanation is just another minute you're not building your future. Your life isn't a waiting room. It's a construction site. And every day you're either laying another brick or you're standing there hoping somebody else shows up for you to build it. Nephews, stop confusing attention with investment. Stop confusing potential with reality. Stop confuse being wanted with being chosen. Because people don't tell you where they stand with words. They tell you with effort. They tell you with their consistency. They tell you with how they show up when it's inconvenient. And if somebody isn't choosing you, don't waste your life trying to convince them. Choose yourself. Choose your standard. Choose your purpose. Nephews, choose your future. Because here's what I learned out here in these trenches. The men who build the best lives, they're not the men who got chosen the most. They're the men who stopped waiting long enough to build something worth living. And that's what this show is about. It's about teaching manhood as a skill set. Shout out to KZ, helping every nephew watching become the greatest man their bloodline has ever seen. Now, I want to hear from you guys now. Call into the show. Jump into our chat. Challenge us. Challenge each other. If you got a question for next week's show, you can email Uncle Johnny and let's put it on the table. Hell, nephews, Teacher Bill is here. You can put questions on his chalkboard if you need to. Send me a kite. Send us smoke signals. Drop SOS in our comments and we'll send out a search party. Lock in, nephews. Stop waiting to be chosen. It's time to start choosing the man you're going to become. This is Ask Your Favorite Uncles. Call in now. Our phone lines are open. Johnny, go ahead and introduce yourself for everybody tonight.
Well, first of all, I'm going to wish a happy birthday shout out to Braylon Jones on the live chat. So happy birthday. Thanks for spending a little bit of your birthday with us. Going to kind of get to the topic at hand here. Mini Mom, it's always good to see you. But I wanted to talk to you real quick about something kind of important to me. This some new developments that happened over the last few days. The more I've thought about it, the more I thought about how it revolves around change. A lot of you watching are probably in your 20s, maybe 30s, and you've already experienced a lot of change in your lives so far. COVID changed a lot of things, whether you lost somebody or not. If you're old enough like we are, you can remember that 9/11 changed a lot of things, and those are on the big global scale, but there's even things that in your individual life. Changes happen to make that time stand still. And a lot of times that comes in the form of somebody who's going to no longer be around, somebody that you were close to and somebody you loved and cared about a lot. My buddy Frankie just passed away Friday. He was 42, far too young for this to have happened. But I got to tell you, one of the greatest guys you could ever hang out with, if whether you were trying to dig up a driveway of a fun party. One of the things that he tried to incorporate into his life and the lives of everybody that he touched was this business-like but carefree attitude. His favorite thing to say was, "Hey, forget about it," you know. And one of the things that I always liked the most about him was that, you know, he would get knocked down, he'd say, "Forget about it," and he'd get back up again. If I think of it, I'll probably tell some relatable stories about him in the next few weeks. Understand that it's probably just as much for me as it's going to be for you. But before I move forward and tell you a little bit more about what we're going to talk about tonight, just got to say, you know, like I say, Frankie's favorite phrase was "forget about it," which is kind of ironic because I got to tell you, Frankie, I don't know anybody that's met you who's going to forget about you. Thanks for the 42 great years on this planet, man, and we just wish we had more with you. You know, value that time that you have, guys. You know, and rather than lament the loss of someone, find it in your heart and mind to to be grateful for the time you had. Anyway, enough of that. I'm your personal trainer. Yeah.
Well said, Johnny. Let me just put this on my screen for just a second. All right, go ahead, Johnny. You can continue.
Thank you. Yeah. So anyway, I'm your no BS personal trainer and life coach here in beautiful Pittsburgh. You know, and I'm here to talk to you guys a lot about not my successes, because to be honest with you, if that's all I talked about, we would have had our last episode years ago. I'm here to talk about my failures and the lessons I learned from them. And, you know, I smile while I say that, but I got to tell you, I wasn't smiling when I learned those lessons. And that's because I've got some great stories behind the lessons I've learned. And so do a lot of the people that know and love me. And to be honest with you, Frankie probably has a few of those himself. So I guess what I'm trying to say here is, if you're thinking about doing something and it seems risky, it might cost you money, dignity, or God forbid, your actual freedom, you know, maybe drop it in the live chat, shoot us an email. Like Uncle Bill said, I don't care if you send it in a Morse code or a smoke signal, but talk to us first, because one of the three of us has probably done something similar, if not the exact same thing you're probably thinking of doing. And if it sounds counterintuitive, it probably is. So understand, we screwed up so you don't have to. All you got to do is listen up. Let's go.
Teacher Bill.
Awesome.
In the building tonight. Go ahead and introduce yourself for everybody watching our live stream.
Hey, everybody, what's up? I am Teacher Bill. I'm a guest here. I'm a friend of Unc's. I've known him for many years. They invited me on. I think this is a wonderful, wonderful platform for young men today to reach out, to get some advice from older gentlemen that have already been through a lot of the things you may be going through. There's a lot of men out there that may not have men to reach out to, and this is a great platform for you to have that. I love the fact that your questions come in. You're not judged or anything by your questions. The answers we give you are honest answers from the heart. And 9 times out of 10, it's from experience, man. It's not just like we're just saying what we think you want to hear. We've just been there before. So I'm not better than anybody else. I'm just a guest here on the show, and I'm sharing the knowledge from, years of experience. So just definitely reach out with your questions. This is an awesome, awesome platform to be able to do that on, and more people should know about this. This is a great thing, and I'm happy to be able to be a guest, a part of it.
Well said, sir.
And sorry for your loss, man. Very sorry for your loss.
It's like I tell everybody,
ridiculously young, man.
It is, but if I know Frankie, he would tell you, don't be sorry, be hopeful.
Right on, right on. I'm sure he would love this platform too, man. This is awesome.
Oh, dude, I've tried. Listen, he's seen a few of the episodes too, which is pretty awesome, because I used to send him the link every time we'd go on, and yeah, he's seen quite a few episodes. So I'm grateful for that too.
Right on, man. Right on. All right, we can go to it, Bill. I'm good.
Phone lines are open. Put your questions in the chat. Call us. We'd rather you call us, because we can ask follow-up questions. We can get a little more in depth with the problems you're having. We can assign you better homework. Shout out to Teacher Bill. And let's run it. Hey, Johnny, let's get into our first question.
All right, so we got Marlon here. Marlon's a little bit young. I think he says he's 26. He says, do girls even try anymore? This is, I'm not sure if it's the God, I'm putting on my old man glasses. You like that? Not sure if it's the same from a women's perspective looking at men, but I've tried nearly every major dating app for a few weeks apiece. And with almost all of them, there are a ton of girls who will barely do anything of effort. Little or no bio, really unflattering pictures. I'm not on here much, and especially no one ever texts back. I have seen a few of your episodes on Thursday night, and I have gotten several matches over the last year who just never respond after weeks. So, as you say, they might as well not have matched. I didn't say that. I didn't say that, but we'll discuss that. If you're not on the app, why even make an account? So it sounds like Marlon's really just expressing some general frustration here. Teacher Bill, it really sounds to me like he's trying things for a few weeks at a time. He's getting a few text messages back and forth, and then that's it. I got to tell you, that mixed with the apparent frustration, it sounds like he was thinking maybe he had to maybe show up and do a little bit beyond that, and that things would fall in his lap. I mean, he's obviously got some frustration here, but do you think that's along the lines of not knowing what to look for, not knowing what to do?
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you here, Johnny, and I try not to sugarcoat answers or anything so that we can give honest answers. I don't agree with the online dating. You want to meet a woman that likes to do certain things? Go to places where women that do those certain things go. You know what I mean? You want a woman that's physically attractive and in shape? Start going to the gym, bro. You'll meet women that are physically attractive and in shape and worry about how they look. You know what I mean? You want to meet a woman that likes nature? Start going to the park more often, brother. You know what I mean? Just get out there and physically meet the people in person. If you're getting tired of this, hey, I leave you a message. You know what? Nobody is the person they're met to through a text. You're not finding out who that person is. You're finding information about them, but you're not actually finding their personality. You don't know what words they're emphasizing. You know what things are more important to them. So, I mean, I'm sorry that it's not working for you here online, but my opinion in this is that you need to go out to the places where the women you like or the type of woman you want to be around would be and meet those type of women. Hey, the worst thing a pretty woman can tell you, bro, is no. And that doesn't hurt anybody. At least you got off your butt and you tried.
Absolutely. And, actually, there is, believe it or not, there is one worse answer than no. And that is, I don't know, text me sometime next week. Because not only is she saying no, she's sugarcoating that with let me drag it out and see if I find anything better between now and then. I'm probably going to forget who you are, though, by then, to be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, honestly.
Like what Johnny's saying right here, move on.
Absolutely. No is the second best answer you can get besides yes itself. That means that she was kind enough not to waste any more of your time. But yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's a 50-50, man. Just take the risk. You never know what's going to happen, man.
Yep.
Marlon,
Uncle Bill,
I'm going to answer the question you didn't ask because I don't think your real problem is dating apps. I think your real problem is that you started measuring your value by other people's willingness to respond to you. And I got to tell you, nephew, that's dangerous. Because once another person's attention determines your confidence, you've handed them control over your self-worth. And that's bigger than dating. That's a life problem. Nephews, listen to me. Write this down. Attention is free. Anybody can swipe. Anybody can like pictures on social media. Anybody can match with you on a dating app. Anybody can flirt. But investment, that costs something. It costs time. It costs effort. It costs consistency in my book. And investment, it also costs intention. So stop confusing one for the other. And look, I want to give you something practical. The conqueror doesn't ask, does she like me? That's an emotional question. The conqueror asked, how is she investing? Because investment, nephew, it leaves evidence. Interest without investment is basically entertainment. Interest with investment. Now, nephew, that's opportunity. That's decision making. We're not reading minds. We're reading behavior. Shout out to Johnny Dumbbell, bottom line or actions. Now, Marlon, you asked, do girls even try anymore? I don't know. Some do, some don't. But look, here's what concerns me.
It's called vet out the ones that don't.
Johnny, he spent weeks studying people who've already told him no without saying that word. Yeah. So I want you to think about what you wrote. No bio, low effort, never responds. I don't use this app. So let's stop right there, nephew. They're not mysteries. These are answers. You're asking me to explain why they answered no. I don't care why. And neither should you. Because whether she's busy, it doesn't matter if she forgot, whether she's talking to somebody else, whether you made her feel overwhelmed, or whether she deleted the app. None of those they just don't create a relationship. So I'm trying to say. So why are you chasing explanations instead of accepting information? That's where men waste years. Johnny, go ahead.
And one of the questions, and the main question that I think, and he's asking this definitely out of frustration, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of answer it for you. If she's never on the app, why even make an account? He's saying. So he's asking, why are they putting? Really, what it sounds like is, why are they putting out low effort? Well, to be honest with you, I could answer that question by showing you the inbox of any one of these girls you're referring to, because they are absolutely full of guys with messages that they are probably never even going to read. And that's if all they did was post a couple of pretty pictures with no bio and maybe answered a few prompts if they felt you were worthy of reading them. The thing of it is that these women don't need an online account to get attention. These girls get hit on twice on their way to the store. Okay. The fact of the matter is, this is their way of casting a very wide net, looking for a man who fits whatever values that they are holding near and dear to their hearts, whether they're ethical ones or not, again, does not matter. The fact of the matter is that low effort means that you saw how low an effort they gave, and you must have decided that was a relatively low effort in comparison to the effort that you made. So I can only use my Sherlock Holmes skills here and deduce that because you put out effort and they put out no effort, you were expecting results. You're returning low effort and no effort with higher effort. Now, the only place that ever seems to work is in movies, and even those are starting to wise up when it comes to that. If it's low effort, I'm glad that you're recognizing that. And that's where you use, I'm assuming, your perfectly functional thumb at swiping left. But I'm going to go ahead and ride with Teacher Bill overall, because here's the thing. Do I have an online dating profile? Sure, I do. For me, it's like an extra line out there because, again, I've always been better in person. I've always been better at, striking up a conversation. The other night, for example, when I went to karaoke, struck up a conversation with a nice young lady. So there are just certain things that you can't replicate. There are certain things for which there are no substitute. And I'm telling you, you cannot read somebody's body language in a text message. They can write all the excited words and give you all the bullshit emojis they want. That is not body language. That is not bottom lining actions. That is that she's very savvy at finding a freaking emoji. All right. I still think that it's always better to do this kind of thing in person. You read that body language. Is she leaning towards you? Is she kind of crossing those arms back here? Be looking for those things. And again, I prefer that over technology any day of the week. But hey, that's me.
Really, I
Sonny,
think
what you said was perfect, dude. It's another line out there. It's not something to solely depend on, but it's another line out there. So it's fine to have those.
Well, these kids are being raised by
things online, but exactly, and that's not it. It shouldn't be the sole way you meet somebody, and that in person is so important because 98% of what we say in a conversation is nonverbal. The words coming out are one thing, but our body language and our facial expressions and our mannerism are what really say what we're sincere about and what we're actually saying. And if we're comfortable, if we're not comfortable, how we're feeling, if we're not feeling you, none of that, like you said, none of that's coming across in a text. So it's great to have that extra line out there, but man, you got to get that in person, man.
Remember, guys, all you're going to get from text messages are words. You'll never see the actions unless you even get that far.
Nephews, I want to challenge the way you've been thinking about rejection for a minute. Because most men think rejection is the opposite of success. It isn't. Uncertainty is. Rejection gives you certainty. Certainty allows you to move. So think about that for a minute. Imagine applying for a job. Would you rather hear no today or spend the next 6 weeks or 6 months wondering if you're ever going to get a call? I mean, come on, that answer is obvious. So why do we treat dating any differently? A woman who doesn't respond isn't wasting your time. She's saving it. She made the decision you didn't have to make. That's a gift. The problem is most men interpret silence as a statement about their worth. Nephew, it isn't. It's a statement about, well, her level of investment. And those are completely different things. And let me give you a lesson here that's bigger than dating. Life rewards men who can separate data from drama. Okay, data is simple. She didn't respond. That's all you know. The drama sounds like I'm not attractive enough, or women don't try anymore, or nice guys finished last. See what happens? One unanswered message became an entire worldview to you. And that's what the human brain, that's what it does. It fills in gaps with stories. Now, the conqueror doesn't build decisions on stories, he builds them on evidence. Evidence says she didn't invest. Now that's enough. You don't need another chapter. And now, look, let me tell a little story from the trenches. Well, we got a second. Okay, because I learned something the hard way when I was younger. I thought every no, it meant that I needed to improve before I deserved another opportunity. All right. And this happened with, I was trying to get into the electrical union, and I needed more experience, just constantly over and over and over in a cycle. And eventually I realized that some no's had nothing to do with me. Wrong timing, wrong priorities, wrong fit, wrong season. And here's the kicker. I stopped taking rejection personally and started taking it professionally, meaning I looked at it as information, right, and not condemnation, right? And that changed everything. All right, Johnny, you got anything else? You know what? No, I'll tell you what, before we move on to the next question, I got a question for the chat. And I want honesty here, chat. How many of you have ever kept texting someone who already stopped choosing you?
We call that talking to yourself in the DMs.
Well, let me ask you something. What were you hoping would happen? All right, what story were you telling yourself that kept you reaching for somebody who wasn't reaching back? Let's talk about that, chat.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, maybe she didn't hear her phone, or maybe she hasn't checked her phone in a few hours, because we only check our phone every 5 minutes, 24 hours a day.
Johnny, you've been in fitness a long time. Have you ever watched somebody spend all their energy chasing people who clearly weren't committed instead of investing in people who were?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of times it really isn't even so much the gym crush, but it definitely does have a little bit to do, excuse me, with people who do that, because people who are consistent at the gym, they respect their body, they respect their nutrition, and they make sure that they do all those things consistently. But that's because it involves this. But the minute something involves this, or the thing that ends up happening is all logic and reasoning goes out the window, and it's because your ego is distracting you from it. You're looking at logic and reasoning, trying to bottom line or action. Your ego's going, hey, oh, yo, no, over here. No, you matter. You're huge and you're fragile, but you're huge. And the thing of it is that a lot of young men, especially, they would rather believe that this girl has been busy since the day she was born, working 168 hours a week. And that's the only reason she hasn't answered, because God forbid he believed that it's because she's simply not into him. And that's the thing, guys. Like I said, our egos are big, but that doesn't mean strong. That means easy to hit. And for a lot of us, easy to shatter. The minute you can kind of let go of the fact that you're probably not the first and or last guy she's ever seen and even given the look to, the sooner you'll realize that this is not what was I going to say? The sooner you realize that this is not your value is not judged on her reaction to your advances or your provocation of conversation or anything like that. This is a situation where you either fit or you don't. She either fits or she doesn't. And while we're on that topic, remember, make sure that you're doing the choosing out there, not the auditioning.
Nephews, stop asking, why didn't they choose me? And start asking, why am I trying to convince someone to choose me who's already decided not to?
Yeah.
Because the
You know,
strongest
when
men
I
know,
worked
they
in
don't say
sales,
slow investment. They recognize it, they respect it, and then they redirect their energy towards people, goals, and opportunities that choose them back. It's not arrogance, that's self-respect.
and by the way, my young men out there who have ever worked in sales, if you've ever sat there and tried to talk somebody into buying something for any more than 45 to 60 minutes at a time, whether it was a car, a cell phone, a tablet, whatever it happens to be, the longer it took for you to convince them, the more you sat there and muttered to yourself, oh, shit, that might be coming back. Those of you who worked in retail sales, I guarantee you, and this is no different of a situation. If you're sitting there convincing somebody, chances are, even if you have the gift of gab and you're a great freaking salesman and you know how to close a deal, that person is still going to be sitting there later questioning the decision that, by the way, you more or less grabbed them by the wrist and led them to. And that is not closing the deal. That is kind of keeping the deal somewhat open to the point where, again, you might get that, oh, I don't know, call me next week.
All right. Well, Teacher Bill, I got a question for you too about this. I'm sure you've had students who just wanted attention, and then you've also had students who wanted to learn. I'd like to know, to you, like, what's the difference? A lot of young men, they confuse attention with genuine investment. So I'd like your take on this.
I know a lot that want attention just don't care.
Yeah.
The ones that want to learn care. The ones that put effort to it care. The ones that just want attention, they don't care. It's not about in a relationship aspect. If you have a woman that just seems to want attention all the time, it's not about the relationship. It's about her and how she feels. It's not about the relationship. The relationship should be what's important. So you can have like a student that just wants attention all the time. It's because they just don't care about whatever else. They don't care about distracting. They don't care about bothering other people. They don't care about hurting feelings or stressing somebody out. No, they just want attention. So yeah, you find somebody like that, and that's a real easy. I'm out. I'm on the line. Yep. There's plenty of fish in the sea, man. Never get caught up on one just because it's a nice looking bass. Believe me, throw it back. There's another bass out there. You know what I mean? Just take the effort, be patient. Let it sit a little bit. Don't hurry up and cast. Take whatever you can get, bro. Take your time.
Catch and release as long as you use the right worm.
Bro, Johnny, right on.
I want every one of you watching. I want you to. I'd like you to do an investment audit on your lives. All right. I want you to take 5 people you invest most of your time and energy into, not just dating. I'm talking like your family, your friends. It could be in business, and write their names down. And then I want you to score each one from 1 to 10 in these 5 different categories. Who initiates? Who makes time? Who keeps their word? Who shows up when it's inconvenient? And who invests back into your life? And then I want you to take a good, long, hard look at your list. Are you pouring the majority of your energy into people who are pouring into you? Or are you financing relationships that are running at a loss? So a wise man, he doesn't chase attention. He invests where investment is returned. And that's how you build better relationships. That's how you build better businesses, nephews. That's how you build a better life. That's how you stop waiting to be chosen. All right, John, you want to bring out our next question tonight? Hey, nephews, our phone lines are open. Call us with your questions. We're live. We're going to be on for at least another half hour.
Yeah, here we go. So question 2, this is from Avery. And Avery said, and I actually read this wrong because I thought it initially said no spank. It said no spark after 3 months. I was going to say, man, be patient, Buy a ping pong paddle. I don't know. But anyway, I'm kind of devastated. Don't knock it till you tried it. I'm just saying. No. So anyway, I'm kind of devastated and confused. I'm 26. She's 25. I've been seeing her for about 3 months now. We've been on 8 dates in total. So, folks, do the math out there. 3 dates in 8 months. Or, I'm sorry, 8 dates in 3 months. So I think 8 dates in 3 months is kind of slow, but she was rather busy at the beginning. Again, what did we just talk about? The ego. So I had no problem with it. For context, I'm pretty new to romance and dating. No kidding. As I just started dating 8 months ago. I planned many great dates to get to know her in different situations, museums, dining, parks, walks, picnics, picking strawberries, swimming at the lake. I like that none of these was going to a movie. God, I hate that. At the end of every date, one of us usually asks to plan the next one. So far, so good. On our last date, I just mentioned, look, the weather next week is going to be great. If you have time, let me know. We hugged, kissed, and said goodbye. We continued chatting during the week, and I was hoping for her to reach out. As a week passed, I got impatient and asked if she was up to meet again soon. She responded with, yeah, sounds awesome. How about day X? I agreed, and she answered, as always, awesome, I'm excited, she said, with the little, 3 by the, the little heart thing. So 2 days later, I asked her whether she preferred idea A or idea B, and she told me, texting you back later. And then she dropped, and by the way, that usually is a precursor to she's going to leave you a pretty lengthy text message, and if you already were feeling things were going downhill, anyway, I don't want to spoil it. Then she dropped the truth bomb. She says, I don't know how to tell you this, but she's gonna. But I have been thinking about us, and I just don't feel any romantic sparks. You're an awesome guy, and I love getting to know you, but I just don't see us getting into a relationship. Uncle Bill, that sounds kind of like the blessings on your journey thing that we kind of preach, and sounds like she's teaching a class on that one. He says, I just don't get it. 3 freaking months. Remember, 8 freaking dates. We held hands for hours during our walks. We kissed. She told me once how happy she was and how much she loved spending time with me. What went wrong? Perhaps she was already down to get more intimate. Maybe I didn't escalate quickly enough, but our logistics never allowed for any intimate moments. We were both recently moved back here with our parents for some time because of our career, so it was kind of tricky. She only mentioned once that she has a separate living area at her parents' house. She was hesitant about kissing at first. We didn't kiss until our 5th date of 8. So I assumed she needed time. No, you prayed to God she needed time. Maybe it was something completely different. There could be 1,000 other reasons. It just slightly bothers me to think my lack of sexual experience might have had something to do with it. Or maybe I am just overthinking. I'm going to say that again. He says, maybe I'm just overthinking. Maybe. And I'm sad that I lost an apparently great girl. Now, Uncle Bill, right off the bat, he says that he already thought that 8 dates in 3 months was kind of slow. Now, that sounds to me like a boundary, except he missed a step, didn't he?
Johnny, he missed a lot of things. Okay. And look, gentlemen, excuse me, but allow me to take this one first here. Avery, I want you to hear me before you hear anybody else. Okay, because I don't think you failed. I think that you're trying to grade yourself for a test that was never about performance. And I think that's what so many of us men do. Like when a relationship ends, they immediately become detectives. It wasn't.
That's when you want to start looking.
I didn't kiss her sooner, or should I have escalated? That's what you said that really made me think this. And you notice what you're doing. You're trying to solve a puzzle that it doesn't really have one answer. Johnny and I always tell you the why doesn't matter. And look, let me tell you, because if you're trying to find one,
at least not the whys he's asking. Yeah.
I think what you're doing is you're trying to find, if you can find one mistake, then maybe next time you can avoid the pain, because that's how the human brain will kind of protect itself. But it's also how men spend years chasing certainty that doesn't exist. And I want to teach you something to change the way that I looked at relationships. And look, there are 2 different questions here. Did I do enough? And were we right for each other? Uncle Johnny and I are always talking about compatibility, and there's a reason for it. Like most men, they answer the first one, but very few can answer that second question. That first question, it gives you control. The second one requires acceptance. Compatibility isn't something you create through some sort of flawless execution. It's something that you discover over time. That's why we date. Dating isn't an audition. It's an evaluation. And evaluations, sometimes they end with, you're a good person, you're just not my person. And that hurts.
Yeah, I wish we had more.
It isn't failure. It's information. Go ahead, John.
I wish we had more detail as to what happened on these dates. I mean, I wish I could get a little more of a glimpse into their interaction, because like what I'm looking at is, and Teacher Bill, I got to tell you, it looks to me like he did pick some pretty good date venues. I mean, museums, park walks, picnics, picking strawberries.
Yes,
I wouldn't have thought of picking strawberries.
Definitely
that was
not
pretty-
the issue
that was
was the
slick.
dating areas.
Hey, I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
add
great
picking
ideas, great
strawberries.
places.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is that it sounds to me like he certainly didn't struggle with picking the venue. He certainly didn't struggle with that. But I think that when we look at the context, Teacher Bill, and I'm sure you've read many a paper, you can sort of see a lack of confidence simply in the way he worded things to us. And I can only imagine that must have come through. And look, I don't want to make assumptions or write somebody's story for him, but it doesn't seem to me that there's a possibility that came through in his body language or the way he approached a date in person, right in front of her face.
Man, you nailed it, Johnny. Absolutely nailed it. I can't agree more. So just, is it Avery? That was his name, right? Avery?
Yeah. Avery. Yep.
All right. So Avery, my man, great job writing in. First of all, man, you need to do this and reach out so you can get some experience and some answers. So right off the bat, kudos for doing that. You may not like our answers, but know that they're from the heart. Okay. So, a woman likes a man that is confident and sure in himself. She wants you to value her opinion, right? And you need to value her opinion, but you need to make a decision and go with it, bro. So like, it's nice that you found those nice places and stuff, but 5 dates before you even try to kiss. I mean, that in nowadays in society, that's just a little, like, it comes off more of are you not confident in yourself, to where you're waiting so long to even try and get a kiss, as opposed to what you maybe have done is, I'm just trying to be a gentleman and not rush it or anything. But bro, it's 5 dates.
It's dating, not courting. Yeah.
Yeah. That's not, I mean, go for the kiss. I like the second, third, something. Don't wait longer than the third, especially. But I mean, you waited 5 dates to even try and get a kiss. It might have made her seem like you're not as confident in yourself, or you're not as, you're not into it with the seriousness that she might have wanted to be or something. But it's, yeah. Like Uncle Johnny said there, I would love to have had more detail, maybe actually seen some of these dates or something, but just more details to what went on and stuff, because again, we couldn't read your body language towards her or her towards yours. Was she flirty? Did she lean to her? Did you notice her touching your arm and stuff a lot when she was talking to you? That's a signal that she wants to be more romantic and closer with you. If you didn't reciprocate that, that could have given her a sign that you don't feel the same way, and that you're not going to be as intimate with her as she wants to be with you. And that may have turned her off. But like I said earlier, 98% of conversations is body language. So when she talked to you, was she twirl her hair when she's talking to you and stuff? All right. Women will do that when they're wanting to be flirty with you and stuff. If she did those things and you weren't flirty back, that might have been a rejection sign or something. So, I mean,
well,
I wish we had some more detail.
Yeah, I mean, I really do. Well, and I think to a certain extent, we really kind of do have it, given the context of the things he was asking. Yeah, I think that she may have been physically attracted to him, but I think his lack of confidence played a pretty significant role in sucking the air out of the room. And
yes,
I agree. And I tell these young men all the time, I don't think you've ever heard me say this, Teacher Bill, but I say this all the time. Young men, if you do not have self-confidence and you try to fake self-confidence, she will sniff that out like a fart in the car with the windows up. And the thing of it is that it's going to come across creepy, because now you're trying to pretend you are this confident person that you're not. It almost seems like you're trying to lure her into the van for candy and puppies. You are not ever going to fake something you don't feel, man. She will pick it out every single time. And then if you're lucky, she'll send you the "let's be friends" text.
Hey, and Johnny, something that I always say is, you have to believe in yourself. It starts right there. You have to believe in yourself. You are all capable of greatness, young man. You are all capable of greatness. You're all awesome just the way you are. But you have to understand that and see that in yourself, because that confidence will exude from you. People will see that. It's almost like a glow. But you have to believe in yourself, man, and have some confidence in yourself. Again, the worst thing that girl's going to say is no. That doesn't hurt anybody. It's a word. No. Okay, great. Move on. but at least take the effort or put the effort forth to try and do it, man. And don't sit back and wonder and then be left with a bunch of questions as to why this or why that. But I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Just do it, man.
Yep.
Do it. Worst she says is no. You're not going to regret that, bro. You'll always be proud of yourself for at least trying and asking.
Nephews,
Absolutely.
one of the biggest lies in modern dating is this: the idea that if you're good enough, you'll always get the girl. Life doesn't work that way. You can be disciplined, you can be kind, honest, you can be funny, you can be emotionally available, you can be ambitious, and still not be the right fit for somebody. That doesn't reduce your value. It reveals compatibility. And look, here's an analogy for you. Imagine buying the wrong size boots. Okay, you're going to get some Timberlands and you get the wrong size. All right, they're well made, they're expensive, but they just don't fit. Do you throw them away because they're a bad fit? No, you recognize that these boots aren't the right fit. So why do we extend that grace just to boots, but not to ourselves? All right, but I think this may become, all right, let me slow this down for a second. Nephews, stop trying to become unforgettable to people who were never meant to remember you forever. All right, this doesn't mean that you weren't valuable. It means your value wasn't the real issue here. Compatibility was. And here's where men get stuck. I'm going to be honest with you. All right, they confuse rejection with inadequacy. And those are not the same things. Rejection is one person's decision. Inadequacy is a whole identity. So don't let somebody else's decision become your identity. All right, that's emotional control. And that's why the Conqueror's Code, one of my pillars is decision making. Because most men think decision making means choosing. No. The hardest decision that you're ever going to have to make is accepting someone else's choice without trying to negotiate it, without trying to explain it away, without trying to rewrite history. Sometimes maturity, it just sounds like this. I don't understand it, but I respect it. And nephews, that is a strength. All right. So there were times in my own life here where I thought if I could just become a little more successful, if I could just be a little more confident, if I could be a little more experienced, everything will work out. But I got to be honest with you. Life taught me something. All right. You can become a better man and you still can lose people. And it's not because you weren't enough. It's because not everybody's assigned to walk your entire journey. The goal isn't to become irresistible. The goal is to become authentic enough that the wrong people, they just naturally fall away. And that's freedom. All right, chat, get involved in this. Call up. Our phone lines are open. You know, we're going to be on for at least another 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah, if you got questions that seem in line with what you're hearing tonight, shoot it to us in the live chat. We'll answer them best we can.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, chat, be honest here. How many of you ever spent months replaying a breakup? Let us know.
All right, so we got question 3 from Jared. Jared said, this lovely girl and I have become so close that we actually see each other every day, but she still won't date me. This absolutely amazing girl and I have been chatting for 8 months now, and all we ever do is talk to each other, hang out, sometimes have sleepovers, and work on motorcycles together. Because of her, I got more into, oh God, he is the girlfriend that has slumber parties with her. Because of her, I got more into a routine, running, cleaning, cooking, dropped all my bad habits and bad friends. I'm absolutely head over heels for her. Unfortunately, she doesn't find me physically attractive. I wouldn't say that I'm fat, but I'm not fit. I'm trying to change that, as I did get wind of a Johnny Dumbbell challenge. And by the way, yes, that's not a rumor. You're getting that in your inbox. It actually should be there already. I'm 6 foot, 200 pounds as of writing. Decently built, but I got a little gut. She had a friend ask her before why we aren't dating. I told her she really wishes she was attracted to me because we're into the same things. She loves how I treat her and just how I act, but she can't find me attractive. We would be unstoppable. I've been struggling with this for a while. I don't want to lose her. I can't walk away. So what should I do? I don't want to give up on her. You know those people in life where you feel that they are your soulmate. That's all I feel for her. It's been so strong. I thought it was limerence. To be fair, it is. I was going to say. But life is so easy with her. Inconvenience and plans, just laugh it off. Something bad happens, we will make each other smile instead of getting upset. I know the answer is I should walk away before she finds someone she is attracted to, as I know that would kill me. But she's genuinely the most important person in my life right now, regardless. I'm glad she came around. I've improved myself a lot over these last few months. Finally feeling like myself again. Uncle Bill, sick 'em.
Man. Okay. Look, I'm going to be honest with you here. All right. Jared, right? That's what it was, Johnny. I'm going to tell you something that may hurt. All right, but I promise, nephew, it's going to set you free. She already chose. Now, before all you jump in the comments, I'm not talking about choosing another man. I'm talking about making a decision. She chose honesty. She told you, I wish I was attracted to you. Right? Those I think, were her exact words. Now, think about how hard that conversation probably was for her for just a second. All right. Now, she could have continued to string you along. She could have used you for attention. She could have kept you orbiting her indefinitely forever. Instead,
and a lot of girls would have.
She gave you one of the greatest gifts another human being can give you, the truth. Now, the question isn't, what do I do with her? The question, nephew, is, what do I do with the truth? All right. And look, I want every nephew watching to write this down. All right. There are three kinds of people you're going to meet in your life: the people who walk beside you, people who walk ahead of you, and people who walk away from you. And every one of them has something to teach you. Right? The mistake that us men make is believing everyone's supposed to stay forever. That's attachment. That's not gratitude. A conqueror learns from every season, nephews, but he doesn't demand every season last forever. Now, Jared, I don't know if you noticed, but I smiled while Johnny was reading part of your letter. And it's not because you were hurting. It's because I think I saw something you didn't. You said it was because of her I started running. I started cooking. I started cleaning. I started dropping bad habits. Brother, read your own email. You know what I see? I don't see a man getting worse. I see a man becoming stronger. Now,
but let's just make sure it's for the right reasons.
Here's where
I'm glad that you're doing all these things, but these are things you should be doing for you.
All right, here's where I think he took a wrong turn, Johnny. He started believing that she was the source. No, nephew, she was just the catalyst. And there's a difference. Gasoline starts a fire, but it isn't the fire. She inspired the change, nephew, but you did that work. Shout out to you. Don't give away credit you earned, nephew. But this is another mistake that men make. We confuse the person who inspired our growth with the reason that we should stop growing. Now think about that. How many men get in shape to impress one woman? All right. And then quit the gym when she leaves, Johnny.
Yeah. And the thing of it is that it's funny how that happens, but she probably started going to the gym shortly before she left, right when she decided she was about to leave.
Okay, this is the same thing why men will build a business to try to prove somebody wrong and then lose the motivation after they start to succeed. All right, that's because they built their identity around an external outcome, not an internal standard. That's what we teach you here, sir. A conqueror doesn't build because somebody's watching. He builds because that's who he decides to become. That's discipline, nephews. And look, sometimes, I'll be honest with you here. Sometimes God sends you somebody into your life to introduce you to yourself. Not to stay forever, nephew, but to wake you up. And some people are bridges. They're not destinations. All right. And look, shout out teacher. Some people are teachers. All right. Some people are chapters. They're just not the whole book. The tragedy isn't in why they left. The tragedy is when you stop becoming the man they helped you discover. All right. And that's where men start to lose themselves. Teacher Bill, what do you got to think about this? I'm sorry. What do you have to say about this, teacher?
So this is man, Jacob, right? Jacob?
Jared.
Jared. Okay. Jared, unique situation you're in, man. First of all, mad respect to this girl for being straight up honest with you, man. You gotta respect that. It's as bad as it may hurt here, as much as it may hit you here, you gotta have mad respect for that. Like, I mean, she's definitely your dude. I mean, like, and I don't mean that in like a weird way. I mean, just like, she is definitely a friend, for sure.
Start calling her bro.
That's respect. And like, that's what I mean, that's what you would expect a friend to do, to be honest with you, straight out. And every real long lasting relationship is built off of a friendship. She may not find you physically attractive now. You say you're a little bit overweight or whatever, do your thing, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing the gym thing. Keep doing the running, getting in shape. And love
I'll
can
take care of
build,
that,
bro. It can build. It absolutely can build over time. Yeah, stick with Uncle Johnny. He got you. And love can build, man. It can become something else, but it has to start off of a friendship anyways. You already have this amazing friendship with her. Don't try to push it. Don't try to rush it. But if it's meant to be, it will naturally happen. You just keep doing you, getting the best shape you can be, be the best you can be. And if it's meant to be, it will. If not, you'll still have an amazing friend there. But it is going to suck, bro. If she ends up finding a dude that she ends up dating and stuff, that's going to suck at first. But it may be a complete different, an opposite person than you are. You know what I mean? But that doesn't going to mean that your friendship should now be less. Like, don't give something like that up, man. You got somebody you're that close with, that tight with, male or female, man. You don't give that kind of a friend up just because you guys don't feel the same way on another level or something like that. But I mean, I'm just saying, man, that's awesome that she was honest with you. That's awesome that you have that friendship. It sucks that you feel one way and she doesn't, but don't try to force it. And Johnny, you in the email, Lucidicrous, he used the word, I think it was Lucidicrous or
limerence.
Limerence. So for you that don't know, limerence, it means to be in love and have deep feelings for somebody, even if they don't have them for you, or unknowing how they feel about you. When it's not reciprocated, but you still have that kind of feelings for him. So that's what he's saying he has for her. He's deeply in love with her, even though she's not with him. And that's fine, bro. You can be, man, but don't let that love interfere with your true friendship and try to get you to force it and to get it to rush it or anything. If it's meant to be, it'll be. If it's not, it won't. You still got a great friend, man. It's a win-win either way, bro. It's a win-win either way.
Yeah. My final thought on this would be, Jared, I'm 50-50 on whether or not you can even handle this friendship. Hearing you talk about how you're just going to hold out until, this or that, but that if she moves on, you're going to be devastated. It tells me that this is not a friendship that you can handle for as long as you have these feelings for this girl. That's one issue that I have here. So if you cannot handle being friends with her, knowing that one of these days she may come to you with problems with the boyfriend that she has, if you can't handle being one of the girls to her, I don't think this is the friendship for you. But number two, I really think that you're putting all your eggs in one basket. You're pursuing this. You're kind of hanging on that friend hook because you saw in a romantic comedy that's how it works. I'm gonna need you to deprogram the Hallmark Channel from any streaming service or any cable service that you currently have. I want you to get rid of that. I want you to get rid of WeTV, Lifetime. Those movies are not going to help you. Those movies are part of the reason why you are doing the things you are doing right now. If you have anything from the 90s by Jodeci or Boyz II Men, as much as I love those groups, respect to their harmony and their musical talent, do not take their advice when it comes to dating and love and romance, because that will get you the friend zone, even if you are attractive. And listen, man, that brings me to my final point. You are attractive. You are strong. You are powerful. But here's the thing. My telling you that isn't going to convince you. You standing in the mirror and telling yourself that still isn't going to convince you. The day that you can wake up and just know it without having to utter a word about it is the day that you'll know that you like yourself and respect yourself enough to be willing to share that with the woman who's worthy of fitting the program that you have put together. And that includes zero compromises, a whole bunch of standards, and most importantly, boundaries to keep you on the road between you and success. When you can do that, you're ready.
Nephews, the greatest mistake a man can make is allowing one person's inability to choose him to become his excuse for stopping the man that he was becoming. Right? Don't do that. Don't hand somebody else the keys to your discipline. Because if your growth depends on who stays, your growth was really never yours to begin with. Now, Jared, look, this week, I want you to do something difficult. I want you to write 2 letters. I know you're going to need paper, pens. I should probably tell you to write an email. Okay. But the first letter.
Bonus points if you could do it in cursive.
The first letter, thank her. Now, this is not to send. This is for what she helped awaken in you: the discipline, the healthier habits, the better friendships, the man that you're becoming. This is why we always tell you we want you to be the greatest man your bloodline has ever seen. And then I want you to write a second letter. Nephew, this one's going to be to yourself. I want it to start with one sentence. The man I'm becoming no longer requires someone else's choice to continue growing.
Nope.
Now read it every morning for the next week, for the next 30 days.
After you make your bed.
Here's your conqueror's principle, nephew. Stop waiting to be chosen. The world doesn't need another man standing on the sidelines hoping somebody picks him. It needs a man who wakes up every morning and says, whether they choose me or not, I'm still choosing the man I'm becoming. And that is how bloodlines change. That's how leaders are built. And that's how conquerors stop waiting and start leading their own life. Teacher Bill, you got anything to add for this one?
No, that was all perfectly said, both of you gentlemen. That was all perfectly said. Seriously, Johnny, Unc, both of you guys. I can't agree more.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Nephews, before we wrap this up tonight, I want to leave you with something that's been on my mind all week long. Now, look, every question tonight, it sounded different. Different men, different stories. They all had different circumstances. But underneath all three, it was really about the same exact struggle. Every one of these men was waiting for someone else to decide how they felt about themselves. The first guy, he was waiting for effort. The second guy, Avery, he needed an explanation. And our last nephew here, Jared, he was waiting to be chosen. And maybe, look, if we're all being honest here for a second, some of us came into the stream tonight doing the same exact thing, waiting for life to get easier, waiting for confidence to magically show up, waiting until Monday, waiting until we have more money, waiting until somebody else believes in us. Nephews, that's backwards. You don't become valuable because somebody else chooses you. People choose you because you already become valuable. And that's not because of your bank account. It's not because of your muscles, not because of your relationship status on Facebook, because you become the man whose life has direction, a man who keeps his word, a man who stands on principles, a man who doesn't abandon himself every time life gets a little uncomfortable. And that is the conqueror's code. The world is full of men waiting for permission, permission to start, permission to leave, permission to heal, permission to become. You don't need permission, nephews. You need a decision, because your future, it's not built by the opportunities you're given. It's built by the decisions you're willing to make when nobody else is making them for you. One of the greatest lies we one of the greatest lies we tell ourselves is, I'll start when. No, you start now. You build now, you heal now, you become now, because every single day that you spend waiting is a day your future, it's never going to get back. So look, here's my challenge to all my nephews watching tonight. And shout out to you. We appreciate everybody watching, who wrote in, everybody who liked the stream. Nephews, this week, stop asking who's choosing me and start asking, what am I choosing? All right, am I choosing discipline? Am I choosing integrity? Am I choosing growth? Am I choosing to become the greatest man my bloodline has ever seen? Because that's a decision nobody else is going to be able to make for you. And that's the kind of man this community is trying to build. Not perfect men, not men who never fail, but men who refuse to stay where they fell. Men who keep getting back up. Men who keep their word. Men who lead. That's the mission. And if tonight challenged you, if it made you think, if it helped you see yourself just a little more clearly, then don't keep this community to yourself. Invite another nephew, bring your brother, send your son, bring your dad, tell your best friend, because somewhere out there is another man who's been carrying something by himself. And he doesn't know that there's a community waiting to help him carry the weight. To everybody who spent part of your Monday night with us, thank you. To Johnny, hey, thank you for showing up every single week and bringing your perspective. And Teacher Bill, thank you for helping us sharpen these conversations and reminding us that
thanks for having me.
It's about changing lives, not winning arguments. To every one of my
right
nephews
on,
watching tonight, whether you called in, wrote in, whether you lurked in the chat, and I've seen dozens of you lurking in the chat tonight, or you listened.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Quietly, because tonight it hit a little too close to home for you. Thank you. I appreciate your time, nephews. I appreciate your trust, and I'm grateful you chosen to invest in becoming a better man. Never take that lightly, because this isn't just another live stream. We're building a brotherhood here. One lesson at a time, one decision at a time, one man at a time. So every nephew watching has the tools to become the greatest man his bloodline has ever seen. Nephews, I love you. I believe in what we're building here. Now, let's keep this conversation going. And we'll be back Thursday night with Swipe Smarter, where Johnny Dumbbell and I are going to be breaking down Bumble dating profiles for you. John, you got anything you want to say before we wrap this up tonight?
Yeah. And it really has a lot to do with speaking up and taking action. You know, Marlon spoke up by asking his uncles a little bit of advice when it came to online dating. You know, we had Avery, who was dating somebody and just didn't speak up to find out what exactly was going on, or to even say what he was looking for. And Jared, he spoke up and unfortunately didn't get the result that he wanted. Speaking up and taking action is sometimes a way of getting a result you don't want. But whether you're speaking up to let someone know how you will and will not tolerate being treated, or speaking up to let somebody know that maybe they made a mistake, honest or otherwise, or speaking up and letting someone important in your life know simply that they're important, if not how. These are all things that we as men have to be able to not only say, but say with our chest. So if you have anything of that nature to say to anybody, whether it's I deserve better than I'm being treated, or simply, hey man, I love you and this life would be a lot worse without you around. For the love of God, say it when that time comes. But that aside, it's going to be 71 hours until we see you again on Thursday night. And that's a lot of time for y'all to be getting in some trouble. Now, I don't know about, I actually know that not one of the three of us has enough money to bail you out of jail. So let's keep the drugs and alcohol to a minimum if we could, please. But if you do drink, don't drive. And if you do drive, don't park. Because accidents cause people. And believe me, that'll cost you. Good night.
Teacher Bill, any closing words for our nephews tonight?
Now, great job, you guys, on reaching out again. Kudos to all three of you gentlemen for reaching out with your questions. If you're thinking about reaching out as well, please do. These questions are awesome. It's nice to not hold things in, man. Get it out, dude. You have questions. We're not going to judge you. I hope you see that for the three gentlemen we just addressed today. We give them their honest opinions from the heart. They can take it or leave it however they want, but it's always going to be true. It's always going to be from the heart. It's always going to be 9 times out of 10 from experience, sadly, but it'll always be honest and not judgmental. So I think this was awesome, man. Great job tonight, you guys. Love being a part of this. Appreciate you having me. Thanks a lot. Would love to do it anytime you need me. This was great. And again, man, it's just a wonderful platform, man.
All right, nephews, before we end this, I just want to put this up one more time. We appreciate each and every one of you. And Johnny, again, I'm sorry for your loss, sir. All right,
Thanks,
nephews,
guys.
we'll see you
Yeah,
Thursday
rest in
night.
peace, Frankie. Rest in peace.
Yeah.